أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا سيد الأنام أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين، لا سيما بقية الله الحجة بن الحسن صلوات الله عليه، واللعن على أعدائهم أبد الآبدين ودهر الداهرين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. قال الله العظيم في كتابه: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وقل جاء الحق وزهق الباطل إن الباطل كان زهوقا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. To hasten the reappearance of our beloved Imam, Al-Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman, the avenger of Imam al-Hussain, please recite a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. What is so special about the revolution of Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam? We know too many revolutions happened, too many movements happened in the history. Too many of them were led by sacred people, leaders that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed. But what is so special about Imam al-Hussain and his movement and his revolution? He was the descendant of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was killed. Too many of Ahlul Bayt were killed. Too many of prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were killed. Prophet John, Yahya, was killed. Prophet Zakaria was killed. Too many prophets were martyred. What is so special about Imam al-Hussain? About the day of Ashura that Ahlul Bayt alayhum salam said, Inna yawm al-Hussain aqraha jufunana. The day of Hussain made or wounded our eyes. أقرح جفوننا. Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba said, لا يوم كيومك يا أبا عبد الله. No day is like your day. No land is like the land of Karbala. You're not allowed to eat any sand, any dust, but the sand and dust of the holy city of Karbala. If you are sick, you can eat some of it. No other land you're allowed to do something like that with. So no land is like Karbala and no day is like Ashura. Why this day is so special? You can't fast on this day. Some scholars even say it is haram to fast, because usually you fast in Eid when you want to celebrate. So as an indication to celebrate, it is haram to fast the day of Ashura. Yet, it is recommended to not eat, to refrain from eating after afternoon, up to the time that Imam al-Hussain was killed in. What is so special about Karbala? What is so special about Ashura? In one narration, I just saw one of my colleagues put this magnificent narration. Not only the day of Ashura is important, tonight is very important as well. Just listen to this hadith that the Prophet ﷺ says, Man ahya laylata Ashura فكأنما عبد الله عبادة جميع الملائكة. اللهم صل على محمد. وأجر العامل فيها يعدل 70 سنة. If you stand alongside with Imam al-Hussain and his companions and his household tonight and recite Quran and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala up to morning will be equal to the worshipping of all angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as if you worship Allah for a whole year, fasting the morning time and praying the night time and reciting Quran in the morning and night time. It is very special day. It is very special night. Because the history has changed because of what Imam Hussain did. Imam Hussain changed everything. We have two eras, the era before Imam Hussain and the era after Imam Hussein's sacrifice. Why? Because after Imam Hussain did what he did, no one will have any doubt in distinguishing what is haqq and right and the truth and what is batil and falsehood. If Imam Hussain alone was killed, alone, in the day of Ashura, evil people might be able to say, no, he revolted against the hakim, the ruler of his time, and that's why he was killed. But when you see the whole saga and what happened on that day, and what the enemy did, you would not miss who is on the right path and who is batil and false. It's impossible. Imam Hussain did not kill infant babies. Imam Hussain did not ban the enemies from drinking water. Imam Hussain did not take the household and grandson and granddaughters of the Prophet as hostage and as prisoners. Imam Hussain alayhi salam did not do all of those evil deeds that the enemy did. So it is very easy for any free man in the world to distinguish between who is haqq and right and truth and who is batil. This is the uniqueness of Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam. This is the uniqueness of Imam al-Hussain. That not only he was killed, but also all grandsons and sons of Imam Ali and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Hashemite were killed. Most of Hashemite were massacred in the day of Ashura by Yazid, and who was appointed by Yazid, such as Ibn Ziyad and Umar ibn Sa'd and Shimr and Jabad ibn Rab'i and the rest of the enemies who ambushed and attacked the camp of Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam. They've started the war. When Umar ibn Sa'd said, I want everyone to witness for me in front of Ibn Ziyad that I was the one who started the war. When he attacked the tent of Imam al-Hussain with an arrow, they killed, they burned to ashes the tents of Imam al-Hussain. They did things that every human, if she reads the history of Karbala, they won't miss who is haqq and who is batil. This is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقِّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. Indeed falsehood cannot stand on its feet. I ask my brothers to come a little bit in the front. People are attending the majlis. رحم الله من ذكر القائم من آل محمد. To hasten the reappearance of our Imam al-Zaman, صلى على محمد وآل محمد. جزاكم الله خير. So he was killed. His progeny were killed. Even his infant baby was slaughtered. You might see babies getting killed in wars, but you won't see the enemy attacking, targeting an infant baby. But that happened in Karbala. So should we stand and stay with those who slaughtered that infant baby? And Imam Hussain told them, إن كان للرجال ذنب فما ذنب هذا الصغير. If you claim that we are sinful people, what about our baby? Just give him some drops of water. If you don't trust us, take him and quench his thirst and return him back to me. I will trust you in that. But they didn't do it. Rather, they slaughtered the baby while the baby was on the hands of Imam al-Hussein. Who is with Haqq and who represents Haqq but Imam al-Hussein? And who represents falsehood but Yazid and his army? Our brothers and sisters, Ashura is so strong. It's glorifying like the sun, like stars in the sky, like the moon in a dark night. That everyone, whoever wants to know what is haqq, what is right, he only has to read the history of Imam al-Hussein. Reading the history of Imam al-Hussein and what he did is like reciting Quran. When you read Quran, you will be illuminating your heart. When you read the history of Imam al-Hussein, you will be illuminating your heart as well. Because Imam al-Hussein is the talking Quran. Quran is silent. It cannot talk. It cannot explain himself. But Imam al-Hussein explains the Quran. That's why he's talking Quran. And everyone knows the miracle of Hussein. They slaughtered Hussein. They killed Hussein. So they can make him be quiet. But we see when they put his head on a long sphere, Imam al-Hussein started to recite relevant verses of Quran. أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا. One of the Prophet's companions, he was sitting back in his home and in Kufa, and suddenly he heard the voice of Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet. He knew that Hussein was killed. He opened the window to see the head of Hussein reciting Quran. Then he said, Wallahi inna ra'saka a'jab wa a'jab. I'm more wondered, surprised by your head reciting Quran than cave people. Ayatuna ajaba means that they are wonderful signs of Allah. No, the head of Hussein, severed head of Hussein is more wonderful, surprising people with its miracle. So no one will miss what is happening, what is batil. The second point, that Imam al-Hussein manifested all teachings of all prophets in one day, in a single day. If you want to talk about sacrifice, Imam al-Hussein sacrificed. If you want to talk about giving what you have, Imam al-Hussein gave what he had. If you want to talk about Ithar, Imam al-Hussein had Ithar. If you want to talk about sabr and patience, Imam al-Hussein had sabr and patience. If you want to talk about prayers and how pious people pray and recite Quran, you can see that in the camp of Hussein alayhi salam. If you want to talk about the aroma and fragrance of prophets, you will be smelling that in the camp of Hussein. Imam al-Hussein manifested whatever prophets brought to human beings in a single day. And that's why not only we stand before his grave and say Assalamu alayka ya waritha Adama Safwatullah, Assalamu alayka ya waritha Nuhan Nabiyillah, Assalamu alayka ya waritha Ibrahima Khalilullah. but also in Ziyarat al-Nahi, we stand before his grave and say, Assalamu ala Adam safwatillah fi bariyati. Assalamu ala Nuh, Assalamu ala Ibrahim, Assalamu ala Muhammadin Habibillah fi bariyati. We salute all prophets because Imam al-Hussein really represented whatever all prophets had. In a narration that all sects narrate, that Imam Ali, the Prophet said about Imam Ali, our Prophet, that Ya Ali, man arada an yanzur ila Adam fi ilmih, wa ila Nuh fi hilmih, wa ila Musa fi munajatih, wa ila Isa fi kada kada fi siyahatih, falyanzur ila Ali ibn Abi Talib. Whoever wants to see Adam, Nuh, Abraham, all prophets of Allah, he has to see Ali ibn Abi Talib. The same thing applies on Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam, with single difference, that Imam Ali alayhi salam taught the teaching of all prophets in his whole life. But Imam al-Hussain was able to teach most of their teachings in a single day. That's why Ashura is so special. Ashura guaranteed to human being, gave us all the guarantee that we will not miss haqq at all. It's because of Hussein and his sacrifice and teaching. Congregational prayers, Imam al-Hussein held congregational prayers while he was fighting the enemies. Sabr and patience. Look at the sabr and patience of Imam al-Hussein. Look at the courage and bravery of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. What do you have? What all prophets had? Knowledge, Imam al-Hussein had. Courage, Imam al-Hussein had. Believing in Allah, Imam al-Hussein had. Sacrifice, Imam al-Hussein had. Imam al-Hussein had. When Prophet Abraham saw in his dream that he has to slaughter and kill his son Ismail, he tried to do that without any hesitation. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only wanted him to do the muqaddamat, so-called. So to go and sit, to try. He didn't want him to kill. This is what our scholars say. He tried, but that didn't happen. Yet you see Imam al-Hussein, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, "Ukhruj ila al-Iraq, ya Allah yaraka qatila." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills to see you as martyr. And then what about the ladies? Wills to see them as prisoner. What about the infant baby? He should be slaughtered. Do you know how hard it is for a father like Hussein alayhi salam to sacrifice his son? In some narrations, historians mention that even Ali al-Azghar used to be very similar to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's why they killed him. So they had envy towards the Prophet himself. And that's why they cut Ali al-Akbar in pieces, because they had envy against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They couldn't reach the Prophet. When they reach someone who is similar to the Prophet, they cut him into pieces. Cut him into pieces in front of Imam Hussein's eyes, in front of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas's eyes. This can show us clearly that whoever has any connection with Imam al-Hussein, he will be able to distinguish between haqq and what is right, and batil and falsehood. He won't miss that. This is Hussein, our master, the one who we are proud to be his followers, who we see ourselves in debt towards him. It's because of him that we know our religion. Because of him, we can understand the meaning of freedom and living freely. Al-mawtu awla min rukub al-ari. He taught us how to die with dignity. As Imam al-Mahdi, when he comes, he will teach us how to live with dignity and continue the mission of Imam al-Hussein, his grandfather. Now, as we sitting here in the Majlis of Hussein, we feel that there is connection between our hearts and the grave of Hussein, the tomb of Hussein in Karbala. Sometimes when you say Assalamu ala al-Hussein, you say that as if you are standing in front of Imam Hussein himself and saluting him. This is how close you see Imam al-Hussein to yourself. And that is because our hearts beats with the name of Hussein. In our blood, you can find the name of Hussein. In our vein, you can find the name of Hussein alayhi salam. In our hearts, it's written Ashura and Karbala. Probably some of you is from Basra, Mashhad, elsewhere. Definitely we love Karbala more than our cities. And that's why if you leave your city, let's say that you're from Nasiriyah or Basra, Kuwait, whatever, Syria, you leave that. You don't have the intention to go back and live there. When you go there and stay there for 2 days, you have to pray your salat, asr, 2 rak'ah. But if you go to your home, Karbala, you are allowed to pray your salat fully in the shrine of Hussein. Because the shrine of Hussein is your home. And that's why we love Karbala more than we love our cities. We love Imam al-Hussein as his progeny more than we love our families. Oh Aba Abdullah, we can't do anything for you. The only thing that we can do is to tell you, Shukran ya Aba Abdullah. Thank you, Aba Abdullah. You sacrificed with whatever you had, gave whatever you had in the sake to revive humanity, to keep it alive. And that's why we can feel the humanity in our hearts because of you, O Hussein. So Aba Abdullah, thank you. Assalamu ala al-Hussein wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein wa ala awlad al-Hussein wa ala ashab al-Hussein walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammadin wa alihi al-Tahirin. أرجو أيضا من الأخوة قيام آخر. طبعا هنا شوية حارة يمكن على الأخوة أو حارة، ما أدري بعد إذا